Top 5 British Prime Ministers. Number 5. Edward Heath. Prime Minister from 19th of June 1974 to March 1974. His time was difficult, particularly with domestic problems in Northern Ireland and tremendous industrial unrest. One of his great triumphs was the 1973 Sunningdale Agreement, which, while short-lived, was the first real attempt by a prime minister to put a stop to the troubles in Northern Ireland. Bringing the UK into the European Economic Community. He called an early election and after an inconclusive result he resigned. Number 4. James Callaghan. Possibly the most controversial on this list, James Callaghan was Prime Minister from 5th of April 1976 to May 1979. He had a minority government and relied on coalitions to survive. His premiership was largely unsuccessful, with the 1970s economic crisis dominating his time in office. In March 1979 a motion of no confidence was raised against him in the House of Commons, which was passed by one vote. He was therefore forced to call elections, and was defeated by Margaret Thatcher. Number 3. Henry CampbellBannerman. Sir Henry became Prime Minister on 5th of December 1905 and left office on 7th of April 1908. His short term as Prime Minister brought one great success. He negotiated the Anglo-Russian Entente, which among several other things gave Afghanistan official recognition as a British protectorate by Russia. The Anglo-Russian Entente was the final part of the Triple Entente between the UK, France and Russia. Although not a military alliance, the three powers fought as allies for the greater part of World War I, which undoubtedly weakened the Central Powers to an extent they could be beaten. He also introduced sick pay and pensions for the elderly. He resigned due to poor health and died just 2 weeks after leaving office. Number 2. Herbert Asquith. Herbert Asquith was Prime Minister through much of World War I. He took office on 7th of April 1908, and served for over 8 years, resigning on 5th of December 1916. The most notable success of his time as Prime Minister was his conduct in World War I. However, he also brought in national insurance, which is often forgotten in history. Importantly, he also attempted to allow devolved government in Ireland through the Home Rule Act of 1914. However, due to the outbreak of World War I, this was postponed and led to even more unrest in Ireland. He was the first Prime Minister to take the radical step of allowing devolved government in a member of the United Kingdom. Asquith is also commended for bringing in the Parliament Act of 1911, which reduced the power of the House of Lords so they could only delay, and not outright reject a bill passed from the House of Commons. He resigned on 5th of December 1916 and left office on 7th December. Number 1. Charles Grey. Better known as the Earl Grey, he took office on 22nd of November 1830 and left on 16th of July 1834. His most notable achievement was the abolition of slavery throughout the British Empire. He also introduced new measures to protect children, in restricting the ways in which they could be employed and the manner of work they could undertake. The Earl Grey reformed the electoral system through the Reform Act of 1834, which created new parliamentary seats for expanded towns and cities. This act also increased the numbers in the electorate who could vote. However, he specifically stated that women may not vote, and so sparked the beginning of the suffragette movement. In 1834 he quietly retired,